I'm a theater kid. In high school, I was doing backstage work and finding props, and I followed that path of life, and I went to art school to do theater set design. My mother was an art teacher, and my father was an architect. So I was always around this craft of architecture and art. So creativity became kind of natural, and it was also a way to solve problems. The nature of my business demands a tremendous amount of collaboration and communication. When you create environments for television, there are a lot of shareholders, and there are increasingly, as you become more and more successful, there are increasingly more shareholders in the product that you're creating. There's a lot of bosses, and there's a lot of changes happening, and that's because we're creating huge, epic-sized spaces. We work in fast, quick concept sketches first. We develop renderings in real time at a tremendous amount of volume and in 3D, and we screen share in 3D. And we do this every day, actually.
If we keep the showrunner as excited as we are about the show, it helps to make the design process a lot easier. We send 3D walkthroughs to clients, and that's how they're able to improve the process. But then now we're taking it a step further with the 3D walkthrough of our Vectorworks space, which is literally what is going to be delivered that the shop builds.
Clients treat our renderings like receipts. Like, they want to show up and see what they have paid for, that we have delivered, and it's awesome to hear when somebody thinks that it even looks better than the renderings, that they feel like we've over-delivered.
You really want to try to tell a story within the space, and that's what we do first. It's a very quick modeling just to get the look right. And then when it goes into drafting, they can add the details on how things are supposed to be made.
It's a little bit of a back and forth with the workflow. We do development shows, and then we do a lot of production as well. Once we do the creative and it's been approved, etc., that goes straight back to our production team, and from there it is drafted in Vectorworks, sent to a shop.
When you formulate, in terms of the process, a sort of rough concept, when you build that up, you can then use Vectorworks to translate to the multi-discipline departments, like lighting and rigging and construction. And then from there, we develop a budget and then refine the budget. And then from the budget process, then we can go into production. So it's a real labyrinth of a pipeline, but it is pretty strict from concept into design development, into budget, into production that we've set up. And so, I feel like there are really only several studios out there in the world that do it at this volume and at this complexity.
We sell ourselves on this idea of render to reality, but how we get to the reality, Vectorworks helps to get us there, because without that, we can't just take a 2D image, send it to the shop, and expect them to build it exactly as the image wants it to be.
For the efficiencies, for time, and for building, Vectorworks is key. For all of our fabrication vendors, they can already give me quick numbers because they're fluent in Vectorworks, and then it saves them time too because they're not having to redraft it for construction. They can just take those drawings, start to plate it up, and not have to then redraft it in a different program. Our lighting teams are so fluent in it so that we can have stronger conversations ahead of time and not be figuring things out on site. So then we're pre-planning. And then same thing with, working with our technical departments in camera. We can already set those camera angles, look at it, pre-plan so that we can have a better load in. So then that's more efficient for the time. And we're not finding ourselves in situations where we have to figure out a lot of overtime on site because we haven't thought about those things. And especially from a tech department, everyone wants to know day one, where am I putting my stuff when I get there? It's not just about the on-camera world, it's about all the off-camera support as well. For audience counts and things, of that nature, it's all the seating tools and all the 3D symbols. It's easy to pull numbers and figure out quickly, okay, this is how much drape we're gonna need to order for all these other spaces. This is how many chairs we're gonna need to get. For our decking vendor, All Access, they work in CAD Vectorworks as well. So it's so amazing that you can just send them a rough decking plan and then they can easily populate it with their decks that they have in stock and then figure out those efficiencies of like, oh, we have like these triangle decks or we have these, so you're not building a bunch of plug decks that now get expensive. Video vendors, it's easy for them to input their video, so then we can easily see how much video tiles they have. Vectorworks does a great job at managing all of that data.
Vectorworks is the medium that we're able to use as artists, specifically those of us in the production department, to take it from what James has designed and what we've designed as a studio to then get it on stage and make sure it's accurate and that everyone knows what they're getting at the end of the day.
We use design strategically to solve a lot of problems and navigate visions. It's fast-paced, it's quick. We can nail a design and build a whole set in the matter of, days.